The transport ship landed at the Earth station just after noon. Vellani stood at the viewing port, her silver eyes reflecting the blue planet below. Her pale blue skin felt cool against the heated glass. She had traveled for 3 months across the galaxy to reach this moment. In her bag, she carried everything she owned and a marriage contract signed 7 years ago. She touched the small pendant around her neck. Her mother had given it to her before she left. "Be brave," her mother had said. "Humans are strange, but they have good hearts." Vellani hoped that was true. She had never met a human before. She had only seen pictures of Tae-hyun, the man who would be her husband. He looked kind in the photos. His smile reached his eyes. The shuttle ride down to the surface was short. Vellani watched the cities grow larger through the window. Earth was so different from her home world. More water, more green, more colors everywhere. Her planet was mostly purple rock and silver sand. Beautiful in its own way, but nothing like this. She found a taxi at the station. The driver was human and stared at her blue skin for a moment before catching himself. Vellani was used to this. She gave him the address from the contract papers. The driver nodded and started driving. The city passed by outside. So many humans everywhere. So many different faces and voices. The house was smaller than she expected. It sat on a quiet street with other houses that looked almost the same. There was a small yard with flowers growing near the door. A child's toy lay on the grass. Vellani's heart beat faster. Tae-hyun had children. She knew this from the contract. 2 children from his first wife who had died. Vellani would be their mother now. The thought scared her and excited her at the same time. She paid the driver and walked to the door. Her legs felt weak. She pressed the button for the doorbell and heard it ring inside. Footsteps came closer. The door opened. A woman stood there. A human woman with dark hair and a sharp face. She wore expensive clothes and looked at Vellani with surprise that quickly turned to confusion. "Can I help you?" the woman asked. Vellani's translator device worked perfectly, turning the woman's words into her own language in her ear. "I am looking for Tae-hyun," Vellani said carefully. "I am Vellani." His wife. The woman's face went pale, then red. "His wife? What are you talking about?" Before Vellani could answer, a man appeared behind the woman. He was older than in his photos, with lines around his eyes. But it was him. "Tae-hyun, Nari, what's going on?" he asked. Then he saw Vellani. His face showed the same confusion, then something else. Recognition. Horror. "Oh no," he whispered. "Oh no, no, no. You know this alien?" The woman called Nari demanded. 2 children appeared behind Tae-hyun, trying to see past the adults. A girl and a boy. They stared at Vellani with wide eyes. "She's blue," the girl said. "Dad, she's blue." Tae-hyun put his hands on his head. He looked like he might be sick. "I forgot." "I completely forgot. The contract. I signed it years ago, right after. I canceled it. I sent the cancellation." "What contract?" Nari's voice was ice. Vellani felt cold despite the warm earth air. Something was very wrong. "The marriage contract," she said slowly. "Signed 7 years ago. I received it on my world 2 years ago. I've been preparing, learning your language, learning your customs. I came here to marry you, Tae-hyun. As we agreed, I'm already married," Tae-hyun said, his voice breaking. "I got married again. 18 months ago. To Nari. I canceled the contract years ago, I swear I did." The world seemed to tilt under Vellani's feet. She had traveled 3 months across space. She had left her home, her family, her entire world, for a contract that no longer existed, for a man who belonged to someone else. "The cancellation never reached us," she said quietly. Her voice sounded far away to her own ears. No message came. "Only the contract. Only the instructions to come here." Nari crossed her arms. "Well, you can turn right around." "My husband is not available." "Nari, please," Tae-hyun said. He looked at Vellani with pain in his eyes. "I am so sorry. This is my fault. I should have checked. I should have made sure. I never meant for this to happen." The little girl pushed past the adults and walked right up to Vellani. "Did you really come from space?" she asked. "Are you really an alien?" "Hana, get back inside," Nari ordered. But Hana ignored her. She reached out and gently touched Vellani's hand. "Your skin is so cool. Like water. Does it hurt?" Vellani looked down at the child. She had her father's eyes, kind eyes. "No," Vellani said softly. "It does not hurt. This is normal for my people." The boy came forward too. He was smaller, quieter. "I'm Daeho," he said. "Are you really supposed to be our mom?" Daeho. "Inside, now." Nori's voice was sharp. The children reluctantly went back inside, but they kept looking back at Villani. Taehyun stepped outside and closed the door behind him. "I don't know what to say," he said. "This is a nightmare. Not for me, but for you. You came all this way. You did nothing wrong. I did this. This is my fault." Villani felt tears wanting to come, but she kept them back. Lithirian tears were not like human tears. Hers would be silver and slow. She did not want to cry in front of strangers. "What do I do now?" she asked. "I have no home here, no family. Everything I had I left behind." Taehyun looked back at the house, then at Villani. "Let me think. Let me figure this out. Do you have somewhere to stay tonight?" No, he closed his eyes. Okay, there's a hotel 2 blocks from here. I'll pay for it. I'll come by tomorrow morning and we'll figure out how to fix this. I'll help you get home. I'll pay for everything." "This is my responsibility." "I cannot go home," Villani said. The words hurt to speak. "I sold everything to pay for the journey here. The next ship to my world does not leave for months. Even if it did, I have no money for the fare." Taehyun looked like someone had hit him. "I'll figure it out," he said again. "I promise. I will make this right somehow." Villani nodded. What else could she do? She picked up her bag and turned away from the house. From the life she thought she would have. From the family she thought she would join. Behind her, she heard the door open and close. She heard Nari's angry voice and Taehyun's tired one. She heard the children asking questions. She walked toward the hotel alone under an alien sun on an alien world, with nowhere to go and no one to turn to. The hotel room was small but clean. Villani sat on the bed and finally let herself cry. Silver tears ran down her blue cheeks and dripped onto her hands. She had been so careful. She had followed every rule, every instruction. She had learned about Earth customs and human marriages. She had practiced speaking their language until her throat hurt. She had imagined her new life 1,000 times. None of those imaginings included this. She slept badly that night. The Earth gravity felt slightly wrong. The air smelled different. Every sound from the street outside made her jump. She was truly alone for the first time in her life. Morning came too soon. Taehyun arrived at 9 o'clock looking like he had not slept either. He carried 2 cups of coffee and a bag of something that smelled sweet. "Breakfast," he said, offering them to her. "I wasn't sure what you could eat, but these are pastries. They're safe for most species." Villani accepted them. The coffee was bitter but warm. The pastry was sweeter than anything from her world. "Thank you." They sat in awkward silence for a moment. Then Taehyun spoke. "I talked to Nari last night. It did not go well. She wants you gone as soon as possible. I checked on ships leaving Earth. The next one going anywhere near your system leaves in 3 months. I have some savings. I can book you a ticket, 3 months." Villani nodded slowly. "And where do I stay until then?" "That's the problem," Taehyun said. "Housing here is expensive and hard to find. The hotel will cost too much for 3 months. I looked at apartments, but they all want year-long contracts." "I could find work," Villani suggested. "I am trained as a teacher. I can also do medical work. On my world, I helped sick people." Taehyun's face brightened slightly. "That might help. There's an interspecies cultural center downtown. They help aliens adjust to Earth. Maybe they have job openings. Maybe they know about housing." He drove her there after breakfast. The cultural center was a large building with flags from different worlds hanging outside. Inside, beings of many species walked around. Villani saw her first other Lithirians since leaving home. 2 of them worked behind a desk. They looked at her with surprise and recognition. The center had a job for her. They needed someone to teach Lithirian language and customs to humans. The pay was not much, but it was something. They also had a bulletin board with housing offers. Most were too expensive. But one caught Taehyun's eye. "Look at this," he said. "Someone is renting out a converted garage. It's small but cheap, and it's on my street. Actually, it's my neighbor's place." Villani looked at the listing. The price was low enough that she could afford it with her new job. "Your street?" "2 houses down from mine," Taehyun admitted. "I know it's awkward, but it's the only option that makes sense financially." Villani thought about it. Living so close to Taehyun and his family would be painful. But what choice did she have? "I will take it." Nari was furious when she found out. Villani heard the shouting from inside the garage apartment as she moved her few belongings in. The walls were thin. You invited her to live on our street? Nari's voice was loud and sharp. Are you insane? It's not our street, Nari, and I'm paying for it. She has nowhere else to go. She could go back to space. She could go anywhere but here. In 3 months she will. Until then, this is temporary. She won't bother us. The children are already obsessed with her. Hana hasn't stopped talking about the blue alien lady. They're just curious. It will pass, but it did not pass. The very next day, Hana appeared at Villani's door. She knocked softly, then harder when Villani did not answer right away. Villani opened the door. Hana stood there with a drawing in her hands. I made this for you, Hana said. It's you, see? I made your skin blue with my markers. The drawing showed a stick figure with blue skin and silver circles for eyes. Next to it were 2 smaller figures. That's me and Deho, Hana explained. We wanted to welcome you to the neighborhood. Villani felt her heart soften. Thank you, Hana. This is very kind. Can I come in? I want to see where you live. Do aliens have different furniture? Villani hesitated. She knew Nari would not approve. But the child looked so hopeful. Just for a moment. And only if your father knows where you are. He's at work. Nari is home, but she's on a video call. She won't notice. Hana slipped inside before Villani could object. The apartment was indeed small. Just 1 room with a bed, a small kitchen area, and a bathroom. Hana looked around with wide eyes. It's tiny. Don't you get lonely? Sometimes, Villani admitted. But I am used to small spaces. On the ship here, my room was even smaller. What was your home like? On your planet? Villani found herself telling Hana about her world. About the purple mountains and silver deserts. About the 2 moons that lit up the night sky. About her family and her old job teaching young Litherians about the galaxy. Hana listened with complete attention. When Deho appeared at the door 20 minutes later, looking for his sister, he joined them on the floor where Villani was drawing pictures of her homeworld. Your planet sounds pretty, Deho said quietly. Do you miss it? Very much, Villani said. But Earth is beautiful too. Just different. Nari says aliens are weird, Hana said. She says you eat strange food and think strange thoughts. Villani smiled sadly. I suppose to her I am strange. Just as she seems strange to me. Different does not mean bad. Just different. I don't think you're strange, Deho said. I think you're interesting. They stayed for an hour, asking questions and telling Villani about their school and their friends. Villani found herself enjoying their company. They were curious and kind like their father. When they finally left, Villani felt less lonely. But she also felt guilty. These were not her children. She had no right to their time or affection. That night she heard more shouting from Taehyun's house. Nari had discovered the children's visit. She heard Nari's voice clearly. I don't want them near that alien. She's not their mother. She's nothing to this family. Taehyun's response was quieter but firm. She's been nothing but kind. The kids are just curious. It's harmless. It's not harmless. They're getting attached. Make it stop, Taehyun. Villani lay in her small bed and stared at the ceiling. 3 months suddenly seemed very long indeed. Villani tried to keep her distance after that night. She left for work early and came home late. When she saw the children playing outside, she waved but did not stop to talk. She knew Nari was watching from the windows, but the children found ways to see her anyway. They waited by her door after school. They asked her questions about the stars when she walked to her car. Deho brought her a flower from the garden. Hana showed her every good grade she got on her homework. Villani's Litherian abilities made it hard to ignore them. Her people could sense emotions in others. It was not mind reading exactly, but close. She felt the children's loneliness like a cold wind. She felt their hunger for attention, for warmth, for someone to truly see them. Nari was always busy, always on calls, always working, always somewhere else even when she was home. Taehyun tried his best, but he worked long hours at the repair shop. The children spent most of their time alone or with babysitters who did not care much. 2 weeks passed. Then 3. Villani settled into a routine. Work at the cultural center during the day, quiet evenings in her small apartment. She made friends with other Litherians in the city. She explored Earth foods and customs. She tried to accept that this was her life now, at least for a while. Then Hana got sick. It started with a fever. Taehyun kept her home from school. By the next day, she was worse. Her skin was hot and she could not keep food down. Red spots appeared on her arms. Taehyun called Nari. but she was 3 cities away at a business conference. "It's just a fever," Nari said over the video call. "Give her medicine and let her rest. I'll be home in 3 days." But the medicine did not help. The human doctors ran tests but could not figure out what was wrong. The spots spread. Hana grew weaker. Villani heard about it from Daiho, who came to her door in tears. "Hana is really sick," he said. "Dad is scared. The doctors don't know what to do." Villani's heart clenched. "Can I see her?" Nari said no aliens. "But Nari isn't here, please. Hana keeps asking for you." Villani knew she should not go, but she could not ignore a sick child. She followed Daiho to the house. Taehyun opened the door. He looked exhausted. "Daiho, I told you not to bother Villani." "I want to help," Villani said. "May I see her?" Taehyun hesitated, then nodded. "At this point, I'll take any help I can get." Hana lay in her bed, covered in blankets despite the warm room. Her face was pale except for the red spots. When she saw Villani, she tried to smile. "Blue lady," she whispered. Villani sat beside the bed and gently touched Hana's forehead. The fever was high, but something else bothered Villani more. The pattern of the spots, the way they clustered on Hana's arms and neck. "I have seen this before," Villani said slowly. "Not in humans, but in Letherians. We call it silver fever. It comes from a plant that grows on many worlds. The spots, the fever, the sickness in the stomach. It is the same." "But the doctors tested for everything," Taehyun said. "Human doctors would not know to test for this. It is rare. The plant that causes it grows in gardens sometimes. Small, with white flowers and silver leaves. Have you seen such a plant recently?" Taehyun's eyes widened. "The neighbor 3 houses down. They just planted new flowers last week. I helped them carry the bags. Some of the plants had silver leaves. That is it. Hana must have touched the plant. Maybe she picked a flower. The oil from the leaves causes the sickness. Oh, how do we cure it?" Villani thought carefully. "On my world, we use the root of a purple moss that grows in caves. But here on Earth, you would not have that. However, there is another plant that might work. Humans call it, I think the word is ginger. It grows like a root underground. It has similar properties." Taehyun did not wait. He called a friend to watch Daiho and drove to 3 different stores until he found fresh ginger root. Villani showed him how to prepare it, boiling it into a strong tea and mixing it with honey. They gave it to Hana every few hours. By morning, the fever had broken. By afternoon, the spots started to fade. By evening, Hana was sitting up and asking for food. Taehyun sat in the kitchen with his head in his hands. "You saved her," he said. "The doctors couldn't help, but you knew exactly what to do." "I was lucky," Villani said. "Lucky that I had seen this before. Lucky that Earth has a plant that works." "It wasn't luck. It was knowledge, experience." Taehyun looked at her. "Thank you. I don't know how to repay you. You do not owe me anything. I'm glad I could help." Hana recovered quickly after that, but something had changed. The children clung to Villani even more now. Hana asked her to help with homework. Daiho wanted her to read him stories. They invited her to dinner, and Taehyun did not say no. Villani knew this was dangerous. She was getting attached. They were getting attached. In a few more weeks, she would leave Earth and never see them again. It would hurt all of them, but she could not bring herself to pull away. A week later, Nari came home. She walked into the house and found Villani at the dinner table with her family. Hana was showing Villani a school project. Daiho was laughing at something Taehyun said. Everyone looked happy and comfortable. Nari's face went dark with anger. What is she doing here? The laughter stopped. Taehyun stood up. "Nari, welcome home." Villani helped when Hana was sick. She saved her, actually. The doctors couldn't figure it out, but Villani knew what to do. "And that gives her the right to sit at our table, to play house with my family." "I should go," Villani said quietly, standing up. "No, stay," Hana said, grabbing Villani's hand. "Please stay." "Hana, let go of her," Nari ordered. "Villani, I appreciate that you helped when my stepdaughter was sick. But this stops now. You are not part of this family. You need to understand that." "I do understand," Villani said. "I have always understood that." "Then why are you here? Why are you in my house, eating at my table, acting like you belong?" "Because we invited her," Hana shouted. "Because she's nice to us. Because she actually pays attention to us." "Hana, that's enough," Taehyun said, but Hana was not finished. "You're never here. You're always working or gone somewhere. Villani helps me with homework. She reads to Daiho. She makes us feel like we matter. Nari's voice was cold. Go to your room, Hana. No, no. Tears ran down Hana's face, but she ran up the stairs. Daeho followed her silently. Nari turned to Taehyun. We need to talk now in private. Vellani left without another word. As she walked back to her apartment, she heard the shouting start behind her. She heard Nari's voice sharp and angry. She heard Taehyun trying to defend his choices. She heard their family breaking apart, and she felt responsible for all of it. The shouting lasted for hours. Vellani tried not to listen, but the voices carried through the night air. She heard her own name mentioned again and again. She heard Nari demanding that Taehyun fix this situation. She heard Taehyun saying he was doing his best. Finally, the house went quiet. Vellani lay awake until dawn, guilt eating at her. The next few days were tense. The children stayed inside more. When Vellani saw them, they looked sad. Hana's usual bright energy was dimmed. Daeho barely spoke at all. Vellani kept to herself. She stopped waving to the children. She took a different route to her car to avoid passing their house. She spent her evenings at the cultural center, helping other aliens adjust to Earth life, anything to stay away from Taehyun's family. But avoiding them did not make things better. She could sense their emotions from 2 houses away. The children's sadness, Taehyun's stress, Nari's cold anger. 1 week later, Nari made her move. It was a Saturday evening. Vellani was making dinner when she heard a knock. She opened the door to find Taehyun standing there. He looked terrible. His eyes were red and tired. Can I come in? He asked. Vellani stepped aside. Taehyun sat heavily at her small table. Nari gave me an ultimatum, he said. Either you leave immediately or she does. She says she can't live like this anymore. She says the children are being poisoned against her. She blames you for everything wrong in our house. Then I should leave, Vellani said immediately. I never wanted to cause problems. I will find somewhere else to stay until my ship leaves. It's not that simple anymore, Taehyun said. I've been thinking a lot this past week. About my marriage. About the kids. About what kind of home we actually have. He looked up at her. Nari and I got married too fast. I was lonely after my first wife died. Nari seemed stable and successful. I thought she would be good for the kids. But she never wanted to be a stepmother. She sees them as obligations, not children. That is not my business, Vellani said quietly. Maybe not, but you've shown me what the kids have been missing. Real attention, real care. You helped Hana when she was sick. You take time to talk to them, to teach them things. You make them feel important. Taehyun rubbed his face. Nari has never done any of that. She's never tried. Some people are not meant to be parents, Vellani said. That does not make them bad. Just different, I know. But I can't keep pretending this marriage is working. The kids are miserable. I'm miserable, and Nari is miserable too, though she'd never admit it. Before Vellani could respond, her door burst open. Nari stood there, her face red with rage. Behind her, Vellani could see Hana and Daeho on the sidewalk, watching with frightened eyes. I knew I'd find you here, Nari said to Taehyun. Running to your alien friend again, Nari, calm down. We're just talking. Just talking? You're always just talking with her. You spend more time thinking about her problems than our marriage. That's not true, and you know it. The children prefer her to me. Your own kids think an alien they've known for weeks is better than their actual stepmother. Maybe because she acts like she cares about them. The words burst out of Taehyun before he could stop them. Nari went very still. What did you say? I'm sorry. I didn't mean it like that. Yes, you did. You meant exactly that. Nari turned to Vellani. You need to leave tonight. I don't care where you go, but you can't stay here anymore. I have a lease, Vellani said quietly. A contract with your neighbor. Then I'll pay to break it. Name your price. Nari, stop, Taehyun said. This is crazy. What's crazy is having my husband's mail-order alien bride living 2 houses down. What's crazy is watching my stepchildren worship her like she's some kind of saint. What's crazy is coming home to find her sitting at my dinner table like she belongs there. They invited me, Vellani said. I never asked to be part of your family. I never wanted to cause pain. But you did cause pain. You showed up and ruined everything. I showed up because of a contract I did not know was canceled. I stayed because I had nowhere else to go. Do you think I wanted this? Do you think this is the life I imagined? For a moment, Nari looked almost sorry. Then her face hardened again. That's not my problem. You need to go. No, Taehyun stood up. No, she doesn't. Villani has done nothing wrong. She's been kind and patient and helpful. She's been more of a parent to my kids in a few weeks than you've been in 18 months. Why, how dare you? It's the truth, Nari.
You don't want to be their mother. You never did.
You wanted a husband and a house and a respectable family image. But you don't actually want the family part. The children appeared in the doorway behind Nari. Hana's eyes were wide and wet with tears. Is that true? Hana asked. You don't want us? Nari spun around. Hana, this is adult business. Go home. Answer her question, Taehyun said. Tell her the truth. Fine. Nari shouted. You want the truth? No, I didn't sign up to be a mother to someone else's kids. I thought they'd be older, more independent. I thought it would be easier. I didn't know they'd be so needy and demanding. The words hung in the air like poison. Hana's face crumpled. Daeho just stared at the ground. Nari seemed to realize what she had said. Wait, I didn't mean… Yes, you did, Hana said, her voice small and broken. You meant it. You've always meant it. You don't love us. You never did. We're just obstacles to you, Daeho added quietly. We heard you tell your friends that once. On the phone. You said kids were obstacles to your career. Nari's mouth opened and closed. No words came out. Hana turned to Villani. You love us, don't you? Even though you're not supposed to. Villani felt tears gathering in her eyes. Silver tears that would give away how deeply she cared. Yes, she whispered. I do love you. Both of you. I tried not to, but I do. Then why can't you stay? Why can't you be our mom instead? Because life doesn't work that way, Villani said gently. Because your father is married to Nari. Because I'm just an alien who ended up here by mistake. You're not a mistake. Hana was crying now. You're the best thing that happened to us. Nari made a sound like a wounded animal. Then her hand moved before anyone could stop her. She slapped Hana across the face, hard. The sound cracked through the air. Hana stumbled backward. Daeho gasped. Taehyun moved fast, stepping between Nari and the children. Don't you ever touch them again, he said. His voice was low and dangerous. Ever. Nari stared at her own hand like it belonged to someone else. I didn't. I don't. Go home, Taehyun said. Pack whatever you need for tonight. We'll figure out the rest tomorrow. Taehyun, I'm sorry. I lost my temper. I didn't mean to. Go. Now Nari left. She walked back toward the house like a ghost, her arms wrapped around herself. Taehyun knelt down in front of Hana. The red mark on her cheek was already starting to fade, but the hurt in her eyes went much deeper. Are you okay? Hana shook her head. She was crying too hard to speak. Can we stay here? Daeho asked Villani. Just for tonight, please. Villani looked at Taehyun. He nodded. Yes, she said. You can stay here. They all crowded into her tiny apartment. Villani gave the children her bed and made tea for everyone. Nobody talked much. They just sat together, processing what had happened. Outside, in the house 2 doors down, a light turned on and off. Then stayed off. The home that should have been warm and safe had become something else entirely, and nothing would ever be the same again. The next morning brought lawyers and paperwork. Nari had already contacted a divorce attorney before sunrise. She wanted out fast and clean. No drama, no drawn-out court battles. She offered to take a small settlement and leave the house to Taehyun and the children. I never wanted to be a mother, she told the mediator. Her voice was flat and tired. I thought I could learn. I thought it would get easier. But it didn't. I'm not built for this life. The divorce moved through the system quickly. Nari had been honest about one thing. She truly did not want the children. She signed away all parental rights without argument. Within 3 weeks, she had packed her things and accepted a job offer on a space colony, 3 systems away. The morning she left, she stood in the doorway and looked at Hana and Daeho one last time. I'm sorry, she said. I know that doesn't fix anything. But I am sorry. You deserve better than what I could give you. Hana said nothing. Daeho just nodded slightly. They watched her go without tears. The pain had already happened. This was just the ending. After Nari left, the house felt different. Quieter but also lighter somehow. Taehyun worked shorter hours so he could be home with the kids. They ate dinner together every night. They talked more, laughed more, and Villani remained 2 houses down, counting the days until her ship arrived. 5 weeks left, then 4, then 3. The children visited her every day. They did homework at her small table. They told her about school. They asked endless questions about her home world. Villani tried to prepare them for her leaving, but every time she brought it up, Hana changed the subject. "Don't talk about that," Hana would say. "Not yet." Taehyun came by sometimes too. He brought groceries and offered to fix things in her apartment. They talked about simple things at first. The weather, work, the neighbors. But slowly the conversations went deeper. "I made a lot of mistakes," Taehyun admitted one evening. They were sitting outside watching the sunset. "I married Nari too quickly. I thought the kids needed a mother, but what they really needed was for me to be a better father." "You are a good father," Villani said. "You were just lost for a while. That is understandable. You helped me find my way back. You showed me what I was missing. How to really see them, really listen." He paused. "I'll miss you when you go." "We all will." Villani felt the familiar ache in her chest. "I will miss you too. All of you." "Do you have to go?" The question hung between them. Villani did not answer right away. "My home is there," she said finally. "My family. My world. Is it still home if you found another place you belong?" Villani had no answer for that. 2 weeks before her ship was scheduled to leave, the children asked for a family meeting. They sat Taehyun and Villani down in the living room with serious faces. "We want to talk about something important," Hana said. She had clearly prepared a speech. "We know Villani is supposed to leave soon, but we don't want her to go." "Hana," Taehyun started, but Daeho interrupted. "Let her finish, Dad," Hana continued. "Villani has been more of a mom to us than anyone since our real mom died.
She helps with homework.
She makes us feel safe. She teaches us things. She actually cares about us. We want her to stay," Daeho added, "not as a guest. As family." Taehyun looked at Villani. "Kids, that's not really our decision. Villani has her own life. But does she want that life?" Hana asked. "Or does she want this one?" All eyes turned to Villani. She felt the weight of the question, the hope radiating from the children, the careful neutrality from Taehyun. "I don't know," she said honestly. "I came to Earth for a contract that no longer exists. I stayed because I had no choice. But somewhere along the way, something changed. I stopped feeling like a stranger. I stopped counting the days until I could leave. So stay," Hana said simply. "It is not that easy. Your father and I are not married. I have no legal connection to this family. I would be just a neighbor who spends time with you. What if that changed?" Taehyun asked quietly. Villani looked at him. "What do you mean?" "I mean, what if we started over? Not because of a contract or a mistake, but because we chose to. What if we got to know each other properly as people, not as obligations?" "You mean date her?" Hana asked, her eyes going wide. "I mean, give this a real chance," Taehyun said. "No pressure. No expectations. Just see where it goes." He turned to Villani. "I care about you. I have for a while now. I didn't want to say anything because of the situation. But if you're thinking about staying, I want you to know that I'd like to explore what this could be. We could be." Villani felt her hearts beating faster. Litherians had 2 hearts, and both were racing now. "You want to court me?" "If you want to be courted." "If you want to stay. If you want to see if we could build something real here." "What about your home?" Daeho asked Villani. "Your family?" "I can visit," Villani said slowly, working through the idea. "Ships go both ways. I could see them every few years. We could talk over video calls." She looked at the 3 faces watching her so hopefully. "But if I stay, I need to be sure this is what everyone wants. Not just the children. You too, Taehyun." "I want you to stay," he said. "I want to see what we could become together. And you understand I am not human. That there will be challenges?" "I understand. We'll figure it out." Villani looked at Hana and Daeho. "And you two understand I am not your mother? I could never replace her. But I could be someone who loves you and cares for you. If you want that." "We want that," they said together. Villani took a deep breath. She thought about her home world, about her family there, about the life she had left behind. Then she thought about this small house on this alien planet, about these humans who had somehow become hers. "I need to contact the ship," she said. "Cancel my passage. Then I need to call my family and explain. Then I need to find a proper apartment, not just a garage." "You could move in here," Hana suggested. "Eventually. If things work out." "Eventually," Taehyun agreed. "Let's take it slow. Do it right this time," Villani smiled. It was the first real smile she had felt since arriving on Earth all those weeks ago. Slow is good. Slow is wise. That night, Villani sat in her small apartment and called her mother across the galaxy. The transmission had a delay, but eventually her mother's familiar face appeared on the screen. Villani, how are you? When do you come home? About that, Villani said. I have something to tell you. She explained everything. The contract mix-up, the married man, the divorce, the children, the unexpected feelings. Her mother listened without interrupting. When Villani finished, there was a long pause while the signal traveled across space. Then her mother smiled. Do you remember what I told you before you left? Her mother asked. That humans have good hearts? I remember. I was right, wasn't I? You found them. Good hearts. A good family. Maybe not the one you expected, but the one you needed. So you're not angry that I'm staying? Angry? My daughter, I'm proud. You went across the galaxy for a contract. You stayed for love. That takes courage. Her mother's eyes were wet. Visit when you can. Bring your new family. I want to meet them. I will. I promise. After the call ended, Villani sat in the darkness and felt something she had not felt in months. Peace. The sense that she was exactly where she was supposed to be. Tomorrow she would cancel her ship passage. She would start looking for a real apartment. She would go on an actual date with Taehyun. But tonight she just sat and let herself feel at home. The first date was awkward. Taehyun took Villani to a restaurant that served food from different planets. He was nervous and knocked over his water glass. Villani was nervous too and accidentally ordered something too spicy for her Letherian taste buds. They laughed about it. This is strange, Taehyun admitted. Dating someone I already know so well. We don't really know each other, Villani pointed out. We know each other through crisis and circumstance. Now we have to learn each other in normal life. What do you want to know? Everything. What makes you happy? What are you afraid of? What do you dream about? They talked for 3 hours. The restaurant staff had to politely tell them they were closing. Taehyun walked Villani back to her apartment and kissed her cheek goodnight. It was sweet and gentle and promising. The second date was easier. They went to a museum about space exploration. Villani told him stories about the ships from her world. Taehyun explained how human engines worked differently. They held hands while walking through the exhibits. The third date involved the children. They all went to a park together. Anna taught Villani how to play a human game with a ball. Daeho showed her the correct way to feed the ducks by the pond. They had a picnic on the grass. To anyone watching, they looked like a normal family. But they were not normal, and they all knew it. Villani still lived in the garage apartment. She still went home alone at night. She and Taehyun were careful about physical affection around the children. They wanted to make sure this was real before making it official. 3 months passed. Then 4. The date when Villani's ship would have left came and went. She did not regret her choice. She and Taehyun grew closer slowly. They learned each other's habits and quirks. He learned that she hummed when she cooked. She learned that he talked to himself when fixing things. He learned that she needed quiet time alone to recharge. She learned that he expressed love through acts of service, fixing things and helping people. The children flourished. Hana's grades improved. She joined the science club at school and started talking about studying alien biology. Daeho came out of his shell more. He made new friends. He laughed more easily. They adopted a routine. Villani came over for dinner 3 nights a week. She helped with homework. She read bedtime stories. On weekends, they went on family outings. To the movies. To the beach. To street festivals. People in the neighborhood got used to seeing them together. Some looked at them strangely. A human man with an alien woman and 2 human children. But most just saw a family. One evening, about 6 months after Nari left, Villani was tucking Hana into bed. Hana grabbed her hand. Villani, can I ask you something? Of course. Do you have nightmares? About your people? Villani sat on the edge of the bed. Sometimes. Why do you ask? I have nightmares about my mom. My first mom. Not the one who died, she was good. I mean, Nari, I dream that she comes back and takes me away from you and Dad. That won't happen. She signed papers. She's not coming back, I know, but I still dream it. Hana's eyes were wet. I was so lonely before you came. Nari was here, but she wasn't really here. She didn't see me. Not really. But you see me? You see both of us. Villani's chest felt tight. I do see you. Both of you. You are brilliant and brave and wonderful. Will you always stay? Promise? Vellani wanted to promise, but she had learned that life did not always allow promises to be kept. I will stay as long as you want me, as long as your father wants me, as long as this feels right for everyone. It will always feel right, Hana said confidently. You belong with us. That conversation stayed with Vellani. She thought about belonging, about family, about the strange path that had led her here. She talked to Taehyun about it one night. They were sitting on his porch while the children slept inside. Hana asked me to promise I'll stay forever, Vellani said. What did you tell her? That I'll stay as long as everyone wants me to. But Taehyun, I need to know. What do you want? Really want? Not just for the kids. For yourself? Taehyun was quiet for a moment. I want you, he said finally. Not as a helper or a babysitter or a friend. I want you as my partner, my equal, my love, your love. I love you, Vellani. I've been afraid to say it, afraid it was too soon or too complicated. But it's true. I love your kindness, your wisdom, the way you care for my children, the way you make me want to be better. Vellani felt her eyes grow warm with silver tears. I love you too. I have for a while now. I tried to ignore it, tried to tell myself it was just circumstance, but it's real. Taehyun moved closer and took her hands. Then let's make this real. All the way real. Move in with us. Not in the garage, here, in the house. As family. That's a big step, I know. But I'm ready if you are. Vellani thought about her small apartment. About living alone. About the life she had been building in pieces. Yes, she said. I'm ready. They told the children the next morning. Hana screamed with joy and hugged Vellani so hard they both fell over. Taeho cried happy tears. They spent the day moving Vellani's few belongings into the house. She took the guest room at first. Slowly, respectfully. They were building something, but they wanted to do it right, for the children's sake and their own. As weeks turned into months, Vellani became woven into the family completely. She learned Taehyun's favorite foods and cooked them. He learned her customs and honored them. She taught the children Litherian meditation techniques. They taught her human card games. One evening, Vellani used her empathic abilities to sense something heavy in Taehyun's emotions. She found him alone in the garage staring at a box of old photos. What's wrong? She asked. He showed her a picture, a woman with Hana's smile and Daeho's eyes. My first wife. The kid's mother. Her name was Jiwoo. I haven't looked at these in years. Tell me about her. She was wonderful, kind, patient. She would have loved you, I think. She always believed in second chances. In finding joy even after loss, he looked at Vellani. I feel guilty sometimes. For being happy again, for loving again. Vellani sat beside him. Love is not a limited resource. You can love her memory and love me at the same time. They are different loves, but both real. The kids barely remember her. Hana was only 4 when she died. Daeho was 2. Then tell them about her. Keep her alive in stories. Let them know where they came from. Vellani touched his hand. I am not trying to replace her. I could never do that. I am just trying to be what they need now. You are exactly what we all need, Taehyun said. That night, they showed the children the photos. They talked about Jiwoo, about her laugh and her love for singing, about how she used to dance in the kitchen. The children listened with wonder, learning about the mother they barely remembered. She was beautiful, Hana said. She gave you both to the world. Vellani said, that is a great gift. You should be proud of who she was. Daeho looked at Vellani. Can we love her and love you? You should love her. Always. I'm just lucky to love you too. Later that night, after the children were asleep, Taehyun found Vellani on the porch again. Thank you, he said, for honoring her, for not being threatened by her memory. She made you who you are. She gave you those amazing children. Why would I be threatened? Taehyun pulled a small box from his pocket. I was going to wait, plan something special. But this feels like the right moment. He opened the box. Inside was a ring, not a traditional human wedding ring, but something different. A band made of interwoven metals, silver and gold twisted together. Vellani, will you marry me? Not because of a contract, not because of obligation, but because I love you and want to spend my life with you. Because I want to make this family official in every way. Vellani looked at the ring, at Taehyun's hopeful face, at the house behind them full of children she loved. She thought about the path that brought her here, all the pain and confusion that led to this perfect moment. Yes, she said. Yes, I will marry you. He slipped the ring on her finger. It fit perfectly. They kissed under the stars, two beings from different worlds choosing to become one family. Inside the house, Hana and Daiho watched from the window. They high-fived each other and went back to bed smiling. Everything was finally right. The wedding took place 1 year after Taehyun's proposal. They held it in the backyard of their home, the same house where Villani had first arrived expecting a very different life. The preparations took months. They wanted to honor both human and Litherian traditions. Villani's family agreed to attend via hologram since the journey from her world was too long for most of them. But 3 of her cousins and her younger brother made the trip in person, wanting to witness this historic moment. The morning of the wedding was chaos. Hana could not decide which dress to wear, and tried on 5 different ones. Daeho spilled juice on his shirt and had to change. Taehyun cut himself shaving and walked around with tissue on his face. Villani remained calm through it all, though her 2 hearts beat fast with excitement. "Are you nervous?" asked her brother Kejun, who had arrived 2 days earlier. Terrified, Villani admitted, but also happy. "Is that strange?" "Not at all. That is how you know it's real love." The ceremony began at sunset, as was Litherian custom. The backyard had been decorated with flowers from both worlds. White earth roses mixed with purple moon blossoms from Villani's home. Lights hung in the trees, glowing softly as the sky darkened. About 50 people attended. Friends from the cultural center, Taehyun's co-workers, neighbors from the street, the children's teachers, people who had watched this strange family form and grow. The ceremony itself was a blend. A human officiant spoke about love and commitment. Then a Litherian elder, appearing as a hologram, spoke about the joining of paths and the courage it takes to build a bridge between worlds. But the most important part came next. The family bonding ritual. In Litherian tradition, when someone married into a family with children, the children had to formally accept them. It was not automatic. It was a choice. Hana and Daeho stood before Villani. They each held a silver chain, a traditional Litherian bonding symbol. These chains had been in Villani's family for generations. Passed down through many joinings, the hologram elder asked the ritual questions. "Hana, daughter of Jiwoo and Taehyun, do you accept Villani into your heart as family? Do you choose her as your mother in all ways but blood?" Hana's voice was strong and clear. "I choose her."
I accept her.
"I love her." She placed her chain around Villani's wrist. "Daeho, son of Jiwoo and Taehyun, do you accept Villani into your heart as family? Do you choose her as your mother in all ways but blood?" Daeho nodded, then remembered to speak. "I choose her."
I accept her.
"I love her." He placed his chain around Villani's other wrist. The elder spoke again. "Villani of the Silver Sands, do you accept these children into your heart as family? Do you choose them as your own in all ways that matter?" Villani's silver tears fell freely now. "I choose them. I accept them. I love them with both my hearts." She placed smaller chains around each child's wrist. The bonds were complete. Only then did the elder turn to Taehyun. And now the joining of partners. "Do you, Taehyun, choose Villani as your wife, your partner, your equal in all things?" "I do. I choose her." "I love her." "Do you, Villani, choose Taehyun as your husband, your partner, your equal in all things?" "I do. I choose him." "I love him." They exchanged rings. Human tradition. Simple bands that matched the one Taehyun had given her a year ago. Then by the laws of Earth and the customs of Litheria, "You are joined," the elder said. "Family by choice. Family by love. Family forever." Everyone cheered. Hana and Daeho hugged Villani from both sides. Taehyun kissed his new wife for the first time as husband and wife. The holograms of Villani's family flickered and glowed brighter, their way of celebrating across the vast distance of space. The reception was loud and joyful. There was food from both worlds, music that mixed human and Litherian styles, dancing that looked chaotic but felt perfect. Villani's brother tried earth beer and declared it interesting but weak. Taehyun's friends asked 1,000 questions about Litherian culture. During the reception, Hana asked if she could make a speech. She stood on a chair so everyone could see her. "I want to say something," Hana announced. The crowd quieted down. "When Villani first came to our house, I thought she was the coolest thing ever. An actual alien, with blue skin. But then I learned she was so much more than cool. She was kind. She listened to me. She helped me when I was sick. She made me feel like I mattered. Hana looked at Vellani with shining eyes. Some people think family is about blood, about who you're related to. But I learned that's not true. Family is about who shows up, who stays, who loves you even when it's hard. Vellani could have gone home. She could have left us, but she stayed. She chose us, and we chose her. Deho stood up too, not wanting to be left out. What Hana said. Also, Vellani makes really good pancakes. Better than Dad's. Everyone laughed. But seriously, she taught me that being different is okay. She's from another planet and she's the best mom ever. That shows that love doesn't care about where you're from. It just cares about who you are. Vellani was crying again. Happy tears this time. She hugged both children while the crowd applauded. As the party continued into the night, Vellani found a quiet moment to stand apart and just watch. She watched Taehyun laughing with his friends. She watched the children dancing with their new Letherian cousins, learning steps from another world. She watched humans and aliens mixing together, celebrating love that crossed species and planets. She thought about the contract that had brought her here, that cold official document. She had been so excited about it once, so certain it was her destiny. But this beautiful chaos around her was so much better than destiny. This was choice. This was love built slowly and carefully. This was family formed not by law but by heart. Her brother came to stand beside her. You look happy, sister. I am. More than I ever imagined I could be. Mother says to tell you she's proud. She watched the whole ceremony. She cried, "Tell her I'll visit soon. With my family. All of them. Your children are wonderful, very bold, very loving. They are not mine by birth, but they are mine by choice. The best kind of children then." The party lasted until midnight. When everyone finally left, the new family of 4 sat on the porch together. Hana was still wearing her fancy dress. Deho had taken off his uncomfortable shoes. Taehyun had loosened his tie. Vellani's silver chains caught the moonlight. Best day ever, Hana declared. Second best, Deho corrected. The best was when Vellani said she would stay. This was just making it official. Vellani laughed. Both days were pretty good. Taehyun put his arm around her. You know what amazes me? How a mistake, a bureaucratic error brought us the exact right person. What were the odds? Maybe there are no odds, Vellani said. Maybe some things are meant to happen, just not in the way we expect. I came here for a contract. I stayed for love. That seems right somehow. The universe works in mysterious ways, Taehyun agreed. They sat in comfortable silence for a while, watching the stars. Somewhere up there was Vellani's homeworld, her family, her past. But here, right here on this porch with these 3 humans, was her present and her future. Hana yawned. Can we stay up all night? Since it's a special day. No, Taehyun and Vellani said together. They looked at each other and smiled. Tomorrow is a school day, Vellani reminded them, but it's summer. Deho protested. Summer school for you, mister. Math camp. The children groaned, but they were smiling. They knew the rules. They knew the boundaries. They knew they were loved. As they headed inside, Vellani took one last look at the night sky, at the stars that had guided her ship here all those months ago, at the vast universe that had somehow led her to this small house on this particular planet, with this specific family. Thank you, she whispered to the stars, for the mistake that became a miracle. Inside, Taehyun called out, Vellani, you coming? Yes, she called back. I'm coming home. She walked into the house. Their house. Her house. The door closed behind her, shutting out the night and the stars and the past. Inside was warmth and light and love. Inside was chaos and homework and arguments about bedtime. Inside was the smell of human food and Letherian tea mixing together. Inside were 2 children who called her mom, and a man who looked at her like she hung the moons. Inside was everything she never knew she needed. The mail-order bride had arrived to find the wrong situation. But she had stayed to find the right family. Not the one promised by a contract, but the one built by choice and time and love. And in the end, that made all the difference. From the porch, if anyone had been watching, they would have seen a simple human house glowing with light. They would have heard laughter through the windows. They would have seen shadows moving inside, a family getting ready for bed, Just a normal family. Nothing special. Except that they had chosen each other across species and circumstances and all the odds. They had built something beautiful from a mistake. They had proved that family was not about biology or planets or contracts. Family was about showing up, about staying, about loving even when it was hard, and that was the most human thing of all.